Meanwhile, in the pod cave, we're closed.
And welcome back to another edition of the Podmen. I'm Brad.
I'm Brian.
Podman Ron.
And I am Alex.
And half the Podmen, I will note, are kind of calling in while they're on PTO this week. So thank you, Podman Ron and Alex. While you're vacationing, the podcast must go on. So I appreciate it. And the listener appreciates it.
I gotta say that when that phone rang with the beginning there, I thought it was going to be Bob Newhart. Hello?
Sorry. Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe you can do a Bob Newhart's many different TV shows for a retro review sometime.
I will. That would be great.
What do you think is your favorite right off the top?
Newhart, of course.
Newhart more so than the Bob Newhart show?
Yes, the answer is the Bob Newhart show.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Or George and Leo.
Or Bob. Or just Bob. When they just gave up. You know what? Fuck it. Just call it Bob this time. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I think that would be great to have a retro review of all the Bob Newhart TV shows. So anyway, again, the listener really does appreciate you guys calling in while you're on vacation. We have some very timely stuff to go through, so let's go hit the news now. All right, in the news, probably, what could end up being one of the biggest things to happen in the news world is Scarlett Johansson seemingly suing Disney over her not so great movie. It seems like, right? What is this lawsuit about? Does anybody really know?
Yeah, it's about the release on Disney Plus and in theaters because I think her pay was tied to like the box office numbers.
Yeah.
But she is getting paid for like the Disney Plus, from what I understand. But maybe it's not as
She's getting paid for
the
premiere. She's getting paid for. It's really tricky the way her legal team has made it work. So yeah, it's pretty much all about Disney Plus, and it's that she feels as if since her likeness is being used to boost the performance of a platform that she's featured on and she's added value to, that she should be getting money
for the subscriptions. Yeah,
just the subscription.
Yeah, and see, I took it too as it's also some of it's the drop in week 2, right? Because anybody that bought it on Disney Plus Premier Access, they can stream it as many times as they want. So there's also that drop in week 2 where it's like, well, yeah, you may have paid me for the for part of the Premier Access, but it killed the box office in week 2 because people could just stream it over and over and over again without any additional revenue.
Right.
Yeah, but honestly, how many people are streaming it more than once?
Well, I don't know. Here's the interesting part.
Opening weekend, it made $30 million just in Disney Plus alone.
Well, yeah, Disney, and then it made $30 million at the box office, right? But
it made $60 million at the box office. $30 million.
60, sorry, yeah. But what I read today was an article, and it was basically saying the undercurrents of all this is there's issues with Bob Chapek, who's the new head of Disney.
Yes.
And so he came from he was the head of the parks, and he was an engineer, and then he went on to and joined the company and got his business degree and all that kind of stuff. And he started as an engineer working in the parks. And what they're basically saying is a lot of this has to do with he has no bedside manner, and he does not know how to work with talent. He never worked with talent in the parks. He managed the parks. And so apparently there's a rift between him and Bob Iger where Iger's basically like, he already stepped in once during COVID, right, to try and patch things up, and now he's still trying to like back out of the situation. And a lot of it, they said, was in the article I read earlier today, was this stuff should have been squashed early on. And it's probably not as much about money as it is about Bob Chapek does not know how to work with talent. He never has. So that a lot of this stuff should have been squashed early on. Any of those concerns should have been squashed. A lot of it's ego, his ego, the talent's ego, butting heads, them feeling unappreciated. And then you got Feige, who's apparently pissed about the whole situation as well.
Yeah, he's pissed at Disney, not Johansson.
Right.
Wow.
There was rumors. There's also rumors that they've asked Feige not to bring her back in any future projects. Which, if there was any sort of flashbacks, or if they did anything with a what if, right? So
sounds like it could get ugly, but.
So if you want to arrest me. You'll know where to find me.
All right. Well, there you go. Scarlett Johansson's really throwing down the gauntlet, so to speak, and saying arrest her. So there you go.
And
if she's mad, she ought to be mad at the fact that she finally got her solo movie, and all she did was use that movie to tee up her replacement.
Yeah.
So.
Well, writing's
on top of that, we have a plethora of other actors and actresses looking to sue Disney as well. Yeah. I know Emma Stone's looking now, and there's been talks that Emily Blunt's looking at suing Disney.
Oof. And I hope The Rock doesn't join in.
The Rock
said he's not.
Yeah, The Rock's already stepped in and said he's not. But he's got
The Rock's got class, though.
He's got that Moana money. He's good, but
yeah, but he was the producer, so he's not just the star of the movie. He's production, producer, all that kind of stuff. If he wants to get other projects greenlit through Disney, he can't really sue.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's where he's smart at. He goes, okay, I could lose $20 million here or $10 million here, whatever.
I don't think he's smart as much as he's like, listen, I'm already making a crap ton of money off this movie.
No, that's
anyway.
what I'm saying. Or I could be blackballed by Disney and lose $100 million in future money. So, that's where these other people are just stupid. I
don't think they're stupid. I think they're just. There has to come a point. There has to come a point where talent can.
I agree with you, but you know what?
Studios breaking their contract, then studios breaking their contract.
They didn't break the contract. Just this was not.
Contract. That's the reason for the suit, is that they broke the contract.
Well,
she's proposing that they broke the contract.
Yeah,
it hasn't gone to court yet.
Sure, but
I got a feeling it's not. She's gonna lose out in the end because I think they're gonna.
Well, we'll see.
They'll probably blackball.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is you got to think like she's. If this does cause ill will, now Fox is gone, so 2 years ago she had Fox or Universal or Disney or Warner Brothers. Now it's I hope she likes working for Warner Brothers and Universal because if she burns that bridge at Disney and Fox,
Well,
what happens there?
WB does have a liking for picking up talent that Disney no longer wants. Hint, hint, James Gunn.
That is true.
All right. Well, and while we're at it, before we get into it, kind of a little segue there, going from Scarlet Witch to the Suicide Squad. We do get a little bit of a taste of maybe what is in store for us for Hawkeye. With a Quinn motorcycle picture that was released. So Hawkeye's going to be flying around on a motorcycle, and we got Kate Bishop. And Brian, you think we may have a main villain aside from Black Widow too, right?
Yeah. The speculation now is that Kate Bishop's mother will be Vera Farmiga from The Conjuring and Bates Motel and all those. Is playing a mystery character in the show. The speculation now is that she's going to be Madame Mask and Kate Bishop's mother. So that's and then the Quinn cycle. Yeah, That's not from the show. They've actually built the Quinn cycle. They've got a flying motorcycle.
That's Hawkeye's motorcycle.
Hawkeye's motorcycle, yeah. All right, well, there you go. So it sounds like he may stay a little bit true to the... Did he have that flying motorcycle in the Hawkeye solo series that everybody loves so much?
No.
He did.
He did not. No, they got to take him down to grassroots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
had it back in the good stuff.
The good old days he did in West Coast Avengers.
The Matt Fraction Hawkeye is good stuff.
Yeah, the Matt Fraction Hawkeye is spectacular stuff.
Well, speaking of more good stuff, Brian, you got to see an advanced screening of the Suicide Squad of a week or so in advance. And, I mean, so far you're loving it, right?
Ratatouille, what do you got?
Loving it.
Bird. Now it. Stay off the comm.
All right. So all the characters lovable. Everybody lives. Sets us up for a great sequel. What can you give us a no spoiler synopsis here, a review, if at all possible?
Yeah, it's very good. I posted this on the Instagram.
That's right. The Instagram is the Podmen, all one word, the Podmen on Instagram. So please follow. Brian's been doing a hell of a job on social media.
And not only did I post it about my kind of spoiler-free review, but I also posted a couple of days beforehand, get free pre-screening tickets. So if you took advantage of that, if you follow us on Instagram, the Podmen, you could have partaken in those free screening tickets.
You could be like Brian.
You could be like me. Which, two of the four Podmen, only one of us went to go see it, and they all knew about the pre-screening.
That's how lazy the Podmen are, to be honest with you.
Hey, I've been busy.
Yeah, Alex has been busy. Podmen Ron and I are just lazy, I think.
But yeah, I went to go see it. It was very, very good. It's probably, I think I put this on my review. It's the best DC film since Dark Knight. Right, better than Aquaman, better than Wonder Woman 1, better than Dark Knight Rises, better than Joker. I mean, it is a very good movie. It reminds me less of less of Guardians of the Galaxy as it does Magnificent Seven and honestly Super. Brad, like his first superhero film.
Oh,
right?
okay.
With Rainn Wilson.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I like
so
that.
There's some like kind of heartbreak sort of moments that are like, oh. So very, very good movie. And once you guys see it, the thought I've had ever since I watched it is this is what DC needs to be. The more R-rated superhero movies they can make, the better. Not because they're just going for the R, just shock for the sake of shock, right? But I think we've all seen with the MCU TV shows and Black Widow's film, I got a feeling we're fixing to get super let down with Eternals. The House of Ideas is kind of running out of ideas.
Oh.
And sticking to that PG-13 mantra is probably not doing them any favors, right? I feel like, the first Iron Man movie came out in 2008, right?
Yeah.
Or 2009. So it's kind of like what we used to say about the comic book industry and when we had the comic shop. The kids have probably grown up with this universe, and my kids didn't. They were like, well, Black Widow was okay, but it wasn't like it didn't set the world on fire. It wasn't like that. And you're kind of getting that same sort of vibe for the Disney Plus shows. They're kind of like, well, it's okay, but nothing earth-shattering. And I kind of take it back to, in the 2000s we had this, where there was a lot of, they kind of pushed back and that we had more action movies that were R-rated. But in the 80s, man, like you had R-rated action movies all the time, and kids still saw them. Parents still brought them to the theater. But there was that, taboo of the fact that, I'm 13 and I got to see an R-rated movie. That was cool, right? So I feel like this was so good, and this is a way they can completely hand Marvel their lunch if they start pushing back and doing more, not, adult nudity type stuff, but like more adult type action movies like the old Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, do like T2, right? Do it like the old Stallone stuff in the 80s. Make the movies that way, right? Make them R. Kids will still go see them. You're not pandering to the kids. Adults get to enjoy them better, right? I feel like that's a huge opportunity for DC to pick up market share and kind of reinvent themselves. Stop trying to compete with Marvel. Actually age up the movies appropriately to where, we're at that phase now, right? We had that phase in the 90s with comics where everything turned grim and gritty because kids had grown out of the colorful superhero stuff. We're kind of at that phase now. For a lot of these people, just it's movies, not comic books. Does that make sense? Alex, Peter, thoughts?
So you're saying they're trying to make them the age up the comic book stuff from the movies?
No, I'm saying that's what they should do. That's what I'm saying is that's what they should do. They should go for, you know what? If the story needs to be R, make it R. Don't downplay it. Don't dumb it down. Get the best material for this comic you can and make it R. If it needs to be R, make it R. Kids will still see it. Toys will still sell, right? When Terminator 2 came out, it was R-rated, and there was Terminator 2 action figures. It did not stop the sales of those Terminator 2 action figures. Go for that. Like, kids will still find a way to see it. You'll pick up the kids that have already kind of grown, maybe are at risk of growing out of superhero films, right? Just like Dark Knight Returns in the 80s. That's probably the seminal Batman story. Start to push the envelope a little bit in that direction. And then because Disney won't. Disney won't, and that'll be an easy advantage for DC.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't know. DC kind of does this anyway with Marvel. DC's always had better luck at what you're talking about than Marvel does. Because if you think about it, DC's done, the Dark Knight Returns. I mean, I'm talking comics. I'm not talking movies. But DC did the Dark Knight Returns. DC did Watchmen. DC did The Killing Joke. Yeah, and where Marvel, anytime they've tried to dip their toe into the mature level reading stuff, we got the Marvel Knights stuff from the, what was that, mid-90s or something?
Yeah.
And then they did the, what was that, Marvel Max they did? They tried to go adult with that. Mm-hmm. And it just never works with Marvel. It just doesn't. Marvel just does not lend itself to do, in the same universe for mature reading. I mean, it just doesn't work for Marvel. So I think Marvel, their formula right now is what works for them.
Just keep it going.
Just happen in different genres. Well, what they do is they tap into different genres, and then but they're able to, do clean storytelling that way with everything still connected. Or DC, I mean, yeah, they can do these R-rated movies and mature telling because their continuity is not tight at all. It's all over the place. So their stuff is more of a, they're never going to get a cohesive universe, and I guess that's okay. I mean, at least they're not boxed into the same universe. They could tell different types of stories. They could tell a dark and gritty Dark Knight story, or they can tell a lighthearted, more upbeat superhero type Batman story. So, they could do it both ways.
Or they've got their parts of the universe where they can dabble in both, right? But that's my point is Marvel is in a box. They can only go this far left and this far right because they're in that Disney box. DC's not in that box. And when you see this movie,
I like that. I like that better.
You like that box, but the movies are getting stale.
Yeah.
The ideas are getting stale.
Wow. You and Scarlett Johansson are really laying it into Disney.
Brian always hates on Marvel. You hate on Marvel so much.
Yeah, I don't think the ideas are stale. I wouldn't go that far.
Well, yeah, I see what he's talking about with Black Widow, because Black Widow was stale. Not stale, but it was.
You can say boring.
It wasn't as good.
What about Eternals?
We don't know yet.
What we've seen so far of Eternals.
Okay,
right?
Alex loves the Eternals so far.
Let me say this. A month ago or a month and a half ago, I would have said the same thing about Shang-Chi, but this latest trailer, I'm really psyched about Shang-Chi.
Yeah, and let's also
I'm looking forward to that.
We're talking about Eternals. First off, that movie's already had test audiences, and it's already scored really, really high with test audiences. Second off, we've seen 2 minutes of the movie, and it honestly looks way different than any Marvel movie we've ever seen. Third off, it's directed by a 2-movie time director, Chloe Zhao, who in her second movie just won Best Director and Best Picture.
And I don't think any of the movie was directed by Ang Lee, who'd won the Oscar the year before.
Yeah, but this is a movie that's already tested, and it's already tested high, and we don't know anything about it.
I'm just saying, my point is, Marvel is stuck in a box that DC does not have to, is not beholden to.
Marvel is stuck in a rating box.
If DC wants to turn the corner, we need more like Suicide Squad and them just saying, we're going to do batshit crazy stuff. We are not going to be beholden to a PG-13 rating. We don't care about the box office. Kids will find a way to see this movie. We're going to make the best movie, and if it needs to be R to make the best movie, make it. But that's because here's the thing, Alex. Kids that were 10 when Iron Man came out are going to hit an exhaustion point with Marvel. If it's still, when you get in that, you're in that mid-20s age, you're probably the exception to the rule.
Or in your 50s, you may be exhausted of Marvel.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I'm exhausted with all of them.
Right.
But that's my point is if you want, just like with comic books, you want to age up the story to fit the viewer. So if you're not, so you need to be able to replace the old viewers, but also make the stories compelling for older viewers as well. At this point, the Avengers are gone, right? When we get a new Avengers team, it's going to be, the DNA is going to be completely different than the Avengers that you grew up with and my kids grew up with and that sort of thing. At some point, some viewers may just go, this doesn't matter to me, right? Especially if everything keeps getting cycled through that PG-13 lens. I'm not saying Marvel should start making R-rated movies. I'm not. I'm saying this is an opportunity for DC to pick up market share because they've got better stories that are more mature. Don't try to clone Marvel. Do what you do best. Pick from your library of titles and storylines that Marvel couldn't even make if they wanted to because they're stuck at PG-13. That's my point.
That's their point. All right. Well, hey, keep things moving along. And we do want to mention that because I know that Podman Ron's certainly a big fan of Cobra Kai, that one of its stars, Zola Marandueno, I think, maybe cast as Blue Beetle. For an HBO Max series, DC. So,
am I correct to think that's Miguel? Is that Miguel?
Yes, I believe that's Miguel.
Yeah.
Miguel. So that should be good, I guess, right?
It's actually a good casting.
It's great casting.
He's a good actor. I really like him.
It's not a series. They're saying it's a Blue Beetle movie. Because remember, Warner Brothers has said next year they're going to do 10
movies,
10 HBO Max films, and the assumption is Batgirl's going to be one and Blue Beetle's going to be another. But man, if it gets me Booster Gold, I like Jaime Reyes anyway, but if it gets me Booster Gold, I'm going to be stoked.
Can I interject one thing with it? And it's kind of goes with what you were just saying, and we're talking about the multiverse now. DC hasn't really, they're outside the box. They haven't really pinned themselves down into a multiverse. into a set universe continuity. Yeah. To me, like Blue Beetle, I would like to see a Blue Beetle movie, but this is, and Batgirl, same thing. This is where you got to start building. You've got to have them interplay with other people, because then, if not, then you're just going to have a bunch of one and done movies that are not connected and no one's going to care. It's going to be like the Green Hornet or any of these other movies that used to come out in the 90s that were just one and done superhero movies, and there's no connection and there's nothing to get people stoked about anything else. There's no overarching universe, in my opinion. I think that's why Marvel's so successful, because would an Ant-Man movie carry to anything if it was just a one and done movie? No, it was seeing the other heroes from the universe pop in as a guest star, and then that carry on to the next movie or to the next story into a different movie. So, I mean, I think the same thing with these movies. DC at some point is going to try to make it cohesive, and maybe this is what they're wanting to do with HBO Max. Make this a universe for them to play around in. So,
see, I would almost take the opposite and say that, just make me one good Blue Beetle movie. I don't need anybody signing 3 movie deals, because I'm going to get burned out by the 3rd movie. Sort of like with Shazam. I'm sure I will see the new Shazam movie when it comes out, but it would be a fine standalone movie. You don't have to build a world.
Standalone movie, but
just give me one good movie. That's all I need.
Yeah, but I'm a sequel guy. I like sequels, so I like.
But you're getting burned out on action movies, so you're a man of many different faces, there, Podman Ron.
Well, no, maybe I'm just.
Brad, see how this fits you, because this is what I would do. This is my thought process: is a little bit of both, little column A, little column B. If we get a Blue Beetle movie, it's a one and done movie. You don't have to do a second movie. Now if you want to tease Booster Gold at the end of the movie,
right,
and kind of pass the baton on to Booster Gold, and then have a Blue and Gold movie, I'm fine by that. Then if you wanted to, at the end of the Blue and Gold movie, pass, hint at Justice League International and Guy Gardner, fuck yeah, I'm in for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to say 3, a trilogy of Blue Beetle, but you can kind of say, look, we're building towards something, one movie at a time. But yeah, we don't need to go, because Blue Beetle's, bad guys are the Reach. Well, once he effectively beats them, we don't need to see round 2 of him versus the Breach. But if we can get Booster Gold and Ted Kord Blue Beetle, and then if you can get Justice League International in a film, that's fantastic. So I think I would like to see, like, to your point, I don't want to see 3 Blue Beetle movies, but I would like to see like a growth of the universe. And if they did that and their crescendo was Justice League International, that would be perfect, considering the world that James Gunn built around Suicide Squad.
And that wraps up your mini review of Suicide Squad. You didn't even talk about Suicide Squad, Brian.
Well, let's not. We'll talk about it when we all say it.
All right. Let's keep things moving. So, you know what I want? I want a movie, and then I don't want to hear shit about it for 20 years, and then I want it to come back.
What is happening here?
Somehow, the town with no fault lines is shaking on a daily basis.
Maybe it's the apocalypse.
And it must be the apocalypse because the Ghostbusters are back after 20, 30, 50 years or so. That's the kind of movies build up that I want to have, Brian. Everybody loved the Ghostbusters trailer, I assume?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was fantastic. I teared up a little bit.
The only thing I kind of complain about it almost, if anything, is like, I'm not sure if this is a comedy.
I don't think it is.
Other than the Mini Marshmallow Men, it's like it seemed like it was much more of a drama than anything else, which I'm okay with, but a little switch for me.
I mean, but truly, Ghostbusters wasn't a knee-slapping comedy. I mean, if you think Ghostbusters was a knee-slapping comedy, it was action, it was adventure, it had little tidbits of comedy thrown in there. I think this is a little bit. is going to be like that. I think that's why they brought in Paul Rudd to kind of add to a little bit of fun, lighten it up a little bit. So I think it looks excellent.
That was only my criticism. And again, I mean, God bless Finn Wolfhard, Wolfhound, whatever. But you see him and you're saying, "Oh, this is Stranger Things, the movie," right?
Yeah.
But God bless him. God bless him.
It just had the right amount of everything. It had the right amount of, the
Annie
news
Potts.
story. It had Annie Potts. I mean, all of it. I mean, it was just really touched on a lot of stuff. It was really freaking cool. So it's probably the movie I'm looking forward to the most, which it was last year, actually. So
you're still looking forward to it.
Still looking forward to it, man.
All right.
I got a feeling we're going to find out that Paul Rudd is the 2021's Lewis Tully. So I think he's Lewis Tully.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
I'm pretty sure he's going to end up being Zool or Ben Clortho. One of the dogs, one of the demon dogs. But we saw Gozer. The tease of Gozer coming out of the pit.
I love
right,
it.
And you saw one of the demon dogs chasing Paul Rudd through Walmart.
Right.
Product
placement. I mean, it was everything was just fantastic on that trailer.
All right.
And then you had at the end you had Ray Stantz answering the phone, right? But did you notice he's in the bookstore? He's in Ray's occult bookstore. Yeah.
So I mean, you had that, and and I guess Annie Potts married old what's his face?
Egon.
All
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 35 years, so I guess Carrie Coon could be 35, although she looks a little older.
I was thinking the same thing too. I was like,
I'm wondering if Egon had like a marriage before Janine, before he hooked up with Janine.
Wow.
Because she didn't call her mom. She didn't call her mom. She was like, your dad did this and this, but that doesn't mean that's her mother.
Well, that's a good point too. But I mean, she didn't really call her anything else. I mean, it was just a clip. So
yeah, I think you're going to find out that Annie Potts is not her mother. It's her. Janine's not going to be your mother. So,
wow,
really looking forward to it. Though I am just like very stoked about it.
And another trailer,
the marketing thing to come on the Halloween night. I mean, why are they releasing in November?
It's the Thanksgiving film.
It's the Thanksgiving film your family needs, Podman Ron. Also, another movie that you didn't think you knew you need.
All I ever wanted was a normal life.
My son, the 10 rings, gave our family legendary power. Show me you are strong enough to carry them.
All right, everybody loves the 10 rings and a little rap hip-hop music behind it. Podman Ron, nothing juices you up about a martial arts movie aside from hip-hop. Is that correct? Is that a fair statement?
Man, it's a fair statement. No, I'm really, this movie, like I said earlier in the broadcast here, I was not impressed with the first trailer of this movie. But as the new trailers were released and I've seen more, and it looks really, really, really good. I'm really looking forward to this movie.
Have you by any chance watched any of Kim's Convenience on Netflix to get a little taste of our star here, Shang-Chi?
No, I have not.
Okay. Just curious.
No.
All right.
So
I've tried to watch that show. Well, I've had people recommend it. It's
okay. It's nothing. It's not my tempo. It's not mine. Alex, are you still with us by any chance?
I'm still here.
Okay. Any comment on Shang-Chi or Kim's Convenience?
Shang-Chi still looks really good. I get increasingly more worried about it as we get closer.
Oh.
Just because I want it to be so good.
Yeah. Okay.
No, just because I really want it to just really be something special. But
I get increasingly more worried about it the more trailers I see. I don't know PMR. What's the thing in this trailer that's turned the corner for you? Like what did you see now that you didn't see a month ago?
Right. Music.
Because I don't know what's different about this trailer than the one we had a month ago.
The trailer looked exactly the same, right? I mean, he's jumping through the cable cars.
Well, I think I've explained it to on a previous episode.
I've told you boys.
The trailers, I told you boys previous episodes, when I watched the trailer before, it was always on my phone. It was always on small screen. When I see it in big screen, I see a lot more
It's a trick. It's a magic trick.
Absolutely. So
all right.
I look forward to it. I'm getting a little bit more used to it.
Fair enough.
So, you like it? Your issue with the film is that you're half blind.
Podman Ron does not hold it back. He is as transparent of a marketing tool as you can get. He's like, yeah, put it on that big screen and I'll like it better.
Oh, I like it. Look how big it is.
Look how big.
Be good.
Look at that action. And listen to that hip-hop music coming from all around me.
Look how large they are. His hand's the size of my whole body.
Now, those are 10 rings.
This is great.
All right. Well, Podman Ron, I can't wait to hear your review of our next trailer when you see it on the big screen.
Eddie Brock, I want to give you my story. People love serial killers. Please, why me? What's mine is yours. And what's yours is mine.
All right. Yeah, we just recently, this week, had Carnage, or Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. What is going on in the Spideyverse over at Sony with Carnage here? This looks like...
CGI bad.
Or just uninteresting. I mean, that's my problem. It looks good. I mean, it looks like any good video game or whatever type stuff. The effects are fine. I'm just not interested in it, and I don't know if I buy Eddie Brock at all. They shouldn't be selling Eddie Brock. I'm not buying them.
It seems like the superhero movies, I think I said this for the first Venom, it feels like it should have come out in the 90s.
Yeah,
this feels like Spawn, the movie. You know, I don't know.
My problem is with Venom is I've never been a big Venom fan as pertains to Venom as being an anti-hero. I always liked Venom as the bad guy. The few years that he was truly a bad guy. But the other thing is, and I know you all are going to disagree with me, but I've never been a big fan of Tom Hardy. To me, he's never been in anything that I was like, oh my God, that's the best.
Or you just haven't seen him anything that you would.
No, to me, he's a forgettable person in these movies. He does not stand out to me.
I think it's the character, though. Again, I think it's Eddie Brock.
It's the character.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's not Tom Hardy. Here's the thing.
It's definitely Tom Hardy.
No, it's really not.
Generic white guy.
Yeah. So you need to watch something like that's maybe off your beaten path. There's a reason why Tom Hardy keeps getting cast and stuff, because he is a really good actor. The problem is you only watch an action movie, so it's like, well, I don't get it. If you would go watch something like Peaky Blinders,
which
is a fantastic show, and he plays like the head of like the Jewish crime family, and he is fantastic. He is a very good actor. He's a very good actor. The problem is he does his best stuff in things that you would not watch. So he everybody loves him in Peaky Blinders. They cast him in this, but then they're like, well, we really just need you to be kind of like generic superhero A, and he doesn't get to do the stuff that everybody likes him for anyway. It is not. Trust me, it is not Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is fantastic.
I don't know if we're gonna convince him of that. I'm looking through his resume right now.
Yeah, give me some. I mean, I've seen several things he's been in, and there's not one thing that I went, oh my God, yeah, Tom Hardy is great.
Was his big thing Bronson? But where people were like, holy shit, where did this kid come from? Did anybody see Bronson?
No, it was Star Trek.
That's right. That's where they were like, this kid's got it.
It was what movie? Which one was that one?
Insurrection or
no? The last one that Next Generation did.
Nemesis.
Yes, Nemesis. Yeah, that was where everybody. He really turned some heads as a deformed young clone of Luke Picard. Yeah, that's right. Maybe that's where it's just not sitting well from. You're like, fuck this Luke Picard ripoff.
No, it's just terrible. That movie, that whole first Venom was just like. Brian hit the nail on the head when he describes it as a 90s superhero movie. I mean, that's what it was.
It's what it was, what it is.
And that's not a good thing.
No, not in the 2020s. Well, we'll see how it goes. Again, it looks very, very uninteresting, but yeah, I'm sure it will find an audience somewhere or another. Let's go over to, I know we've got a lot more things to talk about here. Let's go to the movies real quick. And I know you boys, all three of you, and most recently while you're on vacation, Podman, Ron, and Alex, saw Jungle Cruise. You can't keep away from The Rock, I know, and you feel like you're going to give him a little bit more money just in case he does decide to sue Disney. But tell us about this Jungle Cruise, another Disney ride that makes it to the silver screen. Alex, let's start with you.
Jungle Cruise is about Emily Blunt, who wants to go on an adventure. And she drags her quirky brother, Jack Whitehall, onto a boat with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and they're chased by Nazis and curses, and it's a whole lot of fun.
Wow. Almost, when you mentioned Nazis, almost sounds a little Indiana Jones-ish.
It really, honest to God, it's very Disney and it's very fun. It's just like a fun action romp through the jungle, but it does feel a little bit like
Alex loves a good romp.
The score has a lot of Indiana Jones kind of vibes, and the character dynamics, and they're kind of, stumbling around nature, just trying to figure things out, and just, I don't know. It has a really good explorer adventure vibe to it, and it's just a whole heck of a lot of fun.
Wow.
It's just a lot of fun. Lots of fun. And good twists. A little twist. Twist.
Well, we know we all love a good twist. Brian, what did you enjoy it?
Not particularly.
Oh my! What? I can't believe you disagree with Alex.
Wow.
This one hurts.
Well, the issue. The things I liked best about it was honestly kind of the goofiness, like the jokes from like the Jungle Cruise. I enjoyed those because they pulled those jokes straight from the ride. There was the problem is it's Pirates of the Caribbean. It's almost verbatim the very first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Like so if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, imagine some jungle around it, and then you've seen this movie. There's little difference in the two plots, in the two stories. Even like the big twist is kind of the thing that Johnny Depp did at the end of Pirates of the Caribbean, the first movie. Like it's, I don't know.
Wow. Okay, so
it was fine,
but
my kids enjoyed it. It wasn't made for me.
Yeah.
I'll support The Rock. I want him to get paid for as many things as he can possibly get paid for. If I had gone to see this myself,
by yourself,
if it had been me and my 23-year-old son seeing this movie, I would have felt you.
Who's your 23-year-old son? I ain't got a 23-year-old son.
Close enough.
However old Alex is.
We can't keep up with that boy. Podman Ron, I'm saving you for the last because you are the biggest Rock fan. So I've got one good review. We'll get to the numbers in a little bit, but we've got one good review, one not so good. You're going to have to break this tie.
You know what? I've been down on The Rock lately, but I got to say he redeemed himself with this movie.
Very good.
I got to agree with Alex. I thought it was kind of what I kind of needed to get back into the adventure movie. It was fun. It had some twists in it. It was fun. It had some twists in it, and I see what Brian's saying. It referenced Pirates of the Caribbean. It did have a lot of little things to do with that. But I mean, all these movies do it at some point. They all copy
everything's
each
a
other.
copy
I mean,
of I Married a Witch.
I mean, a lot of it.
Yeah, but it's a copy of the last Disney rides. It's not like they copied a Warner Brothers movie. They took the formula. I mean, we can go through the plot points, but there's a lot of it.
Let's not relive
There's a
it,
lot of the plot that's reused for this. And honestly, I felt like it was about 30 minutes too long.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I'll jump in on Brian's thing.
Please
there.
do.
It did drag a little bit. I felt a weight towards the third act of like, all right, come on.
The weight of the rock on you.
Let's get back on our cruise. But I think to this movie's credit, and the best thing I can say, I think one of the first things I said after I finished, I was like, this felt like a Disney ride. Like I felt like I just went on a ride at Disney.
Okay.
And you know what? I had a splendid time. I felt like I got the class. I could like smell the ride almost. It was like, I can just smell
the rock. The comedy writes itself, Alex.
Smell the rock.
I can feel the heat, and I can feel little blisters spraying.
Right. Okay. You're getting a little bit too romantic about the Jungle Cruise there, kid. Back off, Alex. Back off. You're going.
I can smell the sweat off of the pit of the rock.
And Alex, when you go to one extreme like this, it just pushes Brian to the other corner of the ring. He just is going to come out fighting.
But maybe it's just, but I'm not saying this is a masterpiece, and it's just a fun romp. But maybe it's just me, where it's like after I saw F9 and after I saw Black Widow, maybe those two movies just sucked the soul out of me enough for me to really love Snake Eyes, Jungle Cruise, because I really do just enjoy them. I don't know whether they add something a little bit new and refreshing to two genres that are a little played out, like two movies that are kind of played out and kind of predictable. The twists here are and both movies are very entertaining to watch. And I am enjoying myself blockbuster season thoroughly. I haven't had this much fun in summer blockbuster since 2017.
Since you turned 22. Yeah, no shame in that.
And I got to say that, I mean, compared to both the Fast and the Furious, the last one, Fast 9 and Black Widow, this was by far head above shoulders better.
Superior movie.
Those two. Yeah, it really was, just for the fact that it just wasn't so tiresome. I mean, it was fun interaction with the characters, fun dialogue, like Alex said, true twist, not the stupid twist like the Black Widow, which was like, oh my God, ridiculous stuff. You had it was kind of a good movie. I enjoyed it. And, it did have a little bit more supernatural themes to it than Raiders of the Lost Ark, and a little bit more sci-fi than Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it was really good. So.
All right, so a refreshing romp with new characters and a new franchise, but according to Brian, the same old story. So a little bit of new, but a little bit of same old.
Yeah, kind of what Disney's good at.
That's it.
I'll put it to you like this: if you have the choice of, if you've never seen either this or Pirates of the Caribbean, watch Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a better movie.
Oh yeah, but
no,
and it's the same story.
I disagree with you. I actually like this one better than Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, well, if it's a rainy day and you want to go to the movies, this isn't a bad movie to go see. Like, you could stay home, sure, but that wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah. And I'm not saying don't go see it. I'm not. What I'm saying is, I'll give you my review. I'll give you my rating.
Yeah, let's get to ratings real quick.
So I'd say it's a 3. I would give it a 3.
All right, go see it. We'll go see it once, and you should walk away happy.
Go see it once if you have young children. There's worse things you could do for 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Take a 23-year-old and have a good time.
That you wish was the 2 hours and 10 minutes you wish was really like a tight 91 minutes. So
yeah,
and you know what? Feel like don't worry about getting up, walking around, stretch your legs a little bit.
You'll be fine.
You're not going to miss much plot.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Go get a refill of popcorn. So.
Yeah.
All right. So 3 and 0 or 1 from you, Brian. Binary.
I guess I've got to give it a 1 because I'm telling people to see it.
All right.
So.
Put it
Alex?
2 and I gave it a 1. Okay.
I said 3 and 1, Alex. 3 and 1.
I know, but I was thinking about Black Widow. I gave it a 2, and I still give it a 1 to see. I guess I don't. Okay, skip the PMR. I'm thinking.
All right, PMR. Alex is still thinking about the heat and the sweat from The Rock and has confused him, I think. It confuses him like, I don't know what. PMR, what do you think about it? What kind of rating?
I'd give it a 4.
Wow.
And I give it a 4 and a 1, but I'd give it a 4 because I think this is a movie that once it does come on TV and is shown, a dozen times on FX every other Saturday.
Yeah, you'll watch it?
Yeah, it'll be on and I'll have it in the background. It's one of those movies that you can just play in the background and, it'll get your attention here and there.
So some rewatchability and enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, Alex?
Here's my conflict in reviewing this movie.
Wow.
Because, I disagree. I disagree with Brian and how he reviews it.
Yeah, obviously.
I also have the exact. I would give it a 3.
Wow, this is weird.
But I would give it a 3 out of mainly a place of enjoyment. Because, I think to what PMR just said, I wouldn't give a movie a 4 because I could turn it on the background and just use it as background noise. That automatically goes to show it's really not that engaging. And it's kind of
no, it's not. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not sad. It goes to show that I could actually watch it again if I wanted to. And I wouldn't.
If you wanted to, but you said you'd turn it on in the background.
Yeah, while you're vacuuming.
Yeah, absolutely.
While you're vacuuming the Nerdatorium,
you could go back. You could go back to it every 20 minutes, and it's like now I think about it, I enjoyed it, and I would say go see it. Yeah, I wouldn't sit down and be like, I don't really want to watch Jungle Cruise today again. No. So I'm going to give it a 3, but I'll still give it a 1. And I think the 1 here matters more. That I really do think you should go see it. It's just a fun movie, especially a good summer movie. Yeah.
We probably...
You know what, Brad? I'm changing mine to a 5 then.
Yeah, I love it.
Because I think this movie, they both got shit on something that actually it's a decent movie.
I'm not shit talking. I'm not shit talking.
5 is not a decent movie. 5 is like the best movie you could have
Fuck
seen.
you, Citizen Kane. The Jungle Book is in the house. I can smell it. I can smell it.
Brad, they're shitting on the movie, man.
But 3 is a 60% Rotten Tomatoes. A 3 is.
What we need to do next week? We need to set down some rules of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I've already did that. I did that one time. No one listened.
That was like episode 20 or something. I forgot what they were. I don't know what they are anymore.
So,
this is a democracy, PMR.
I'm just saying.
PMR has already told you once, Brian.
We told you what these rules are.
I'm not giving the movie a bad review. I'm telling you to go see it.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm just saying,
sounds like y'all poo-pooing on it.
I'm not going to be overtly generous to a movie that I don't plan on ever fully sitting down and rewatching.
Okay.
I mean, maybe
Alex, I feel like you're being perfectly reasonable.
Of course, because you matched your score.
For one, I'm not being absolute. I am thinking it over and being generous.
Yes, you're being very, very.
And you know what that is? That's a sign. That's a sign of maturity, Alex.
That's right. Well, he's 23 now, so yeah.
The Zach sign is just still a 5 out of 5. Fuck everyone who says different.
Well, a 0 should be you never want to see it again. You regret seeing it, right?
That's a 1.
That's a 1. Okay, that's 1. I'm sorry. A 2 would be you saw it.
A 2 is A 2 is you saw it.
There might have been something interesting, but you didn't.
You can see it, but I wouldn't recommend it. But you can go ahead and see it.
Gotcha.
A 3 is you can take it or leave it. 3 is I take it or leave it.
But 3 and 2 sound an awful lot alike. You can see it, but I don't recommend it.
You know what? I've got these things written down.
When you get back home from vacation, can you please?
I will find. Yes, I will find it.
Put that on our Instagram.
No one listens to it. Yeah, I will. I'll put them on our Instagram.
All right.
So.
Hey, Brad, not to change the subject, but I always, anytime we mention the Nerdatorium, I would love to be in the room and see Podwoman Nancy's face when PMR takes that vacuum out to the Nerdatorium.
I got
with his Doctor Strange cape. PMR puts his Doctor Strange cape on, grabs the shark vacuum cleaner, and says, "I'm going to go outside to watch Jungle Cruise. Leave me alone for 2 hours and 10 minutes."
Y'all, Jungle Cruise is a good movie.
It's fine.
How many times in the 25-ish years you've lived in that house have you vacuumed?
All the time, man. All the time.
Only when he knocks over the horse statue. He knocks over the horse statue, and Nancy gets home before he tries to vacuum it up before Nancy gets home. That's when. All right. So
Nancy's never going to listen to this. Hang on, I got to know. Nancy's never going to listen to this. How many times, honestly, do you think you vacuumed anywhere in the house in the past 20 plus years?
Yeah,
come on,
Alex. Can I get a witness?
About 100 times. Yeah. 100 times in 20 years. How many times have you vacuumed the Nerdatorium in the past 3 months?
About 300 times.
It's spotless.
About every 20 minutes.
Every time he walks in, he vacuums behind him, his footsteps.
Oh, God.
Well, you got to keep the museum clean. All right. Well, you've convinced me, guys. I may or may not see Jungle Cruise, so you've convinced me of that.
Way to go, guys. Way to go, guys.
All right.
Brad, did you think there was a chance Brad was going to watch that movie anyway?
Yeah,
Brad, did you see Snake Eyes?
No. Are you crazy?
No.
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, so let me. Here's the way I'll define it. When it comes on cable or Disney Plus or whatever for free, and I don't have to pay extra, I will watch Jungle Cruise. I would not watch Snake Eyes, even if I had it for free. So that's about how I'm going to define it. So yes, eventually I will see Jungle Cruise.
I think everybody's
until next time. Oh, what?
I think everybody's general consensus with Snake Eyes is it makes a good action movie, but not a good G.I. Joe movie.
I think so. I have no desire to see it. But, you know what? Going back to my original point, all I want is one good movie. And the Podmen had an assignment on the streaming wheel to watch what I think is one hell of a good movie, and I'm reminded about it, The Wrestler. Podman Ron, you did not watch this.
I did not.
Alex, you didn't even know you were supposed to watch this.
I completely forgot.
Brian,
even though you were present on the podcast when it was determined,
and I think I emailed or I texted about it.
Probably,
but there seemed to be some confusion about whether the Podman included Alex, so that's kind of sweet, I guess. He didn't know if it included him. So we can, Brian. I know you watched it, and I know you've seen it before. Should we just wait until these two catch up? Because I kind of want to force them to watch it if they've never seen it. We can't let them off the hook, I don't think.
Yeah, me and you are the two that have seen it before. I want to force them to watch it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's what we need to do. We'll skip the streaming wheel unless we want to make Podman Ron watch an extra movie here. But then it feels like we have to make Alex watch one.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you guys got to watch this fantastic movie.
We will. We'll watch it next week.
All right.
We'll be ready next week.
I can only hope so. All right. So that's it. We got no TV shows to talk about quite yet. Again, Ted Lasso. We can talk about that a little bit later. And
we got Superman and Lois.
Well, Brian, you put that down into what you're looking at.
Oh, I guess that's true.
We got to stick to the script here. And Brian, speaking of sticking to scripts. I know you do have a little retro review for us. And we were talking in the green room before the show, Brian, and we said, hey, we got a jam-packed episode. We know that the pod boys here are on vacation. We'll try to keep it short. Maybe we will delay your retro review here of this movie that we'll talk about. And you're like, well, no, this is kind of a timely movie. It's something that we need to talk about, it sounds like. Let me play just a little bit of a clip here to intro it and tee it up for you.
Bad guys are in there.
You know something? I think you should be wearing this.
I don't think I've earned it yet.
You don't understand. You just solved the entire case. You just revolutionized the entire history of police training. I mean, all these years at the academy, studying human character, psyche of the terrorist, fingerprint analysis, all the courses that I've taken in surveillance, hostage negotiation, in criminal psychology. I mean, all I had to do is just drive around the neighborhood and point my finger at the house and say, the bad guys ain't there.
You think you're funny, don't you?
I know I am. I'm the famous comedian, Arnold Braunschweiger.
Schwarzenegger.
Gesundheit.
All right. Arnold Schwarzenegger doing a little bit of comedy there. Brian, what are you reviewing for us?
I'm reviewing The Last Action Hero. Ooh. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger from 1993. It was budgeted at $80 million and only made 50 of it back in its box office run.
Can I have a question? Was he truly the last action hero?
Yeah, because that was the last movie he did before he went to crap for a while.
Well,
Brian, you're going to have a hard time getting through this, I think.
I'm going to have a hard time getting through this one. However, now here's the film. Little background. The film came out in 93. It was directed by John McTiernan, who John McTiernan directed Die Hard with a Vengeance, The Hunt for Red October, Predator. So you have an A pedigree director. The film was written by Shane Black.
Oh,
Shane Black's very prolific, right? He wrote most recently that we all loved, Iron Man 3. Right? He wrote Iron Man 3. He wrote Predator. 3 of the 4 Lethal Weapons, PMR.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote the newest Predator. He wrote Monster Squad.
Uh-oh, do we lose you there, Brian?
He said the newest Predator. The government just shut him off.
Yeah. Brian, we lost you after Monster Squad, I think. Oh, my gosh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we got you back. I was about to say that you got so excited you knocked your mic over. Please continue.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and one of the best films probably of the 2000s, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So, Shane Black, a great pedigree here, and the film, I think I rented it from Blockbuster. I did not see this in the theaters. I think I rented it and kind of did what PMR talked about. Just kind of played it in the background and didn't pay much attention to it.
Were you vacuuming?
This, I might have been. This film does not deserve the 43% rating it got on Rotten Tomatoes.
Or the crap that Podman Ron is giving it right now.
It
deserves worse, am I right?
No.
Am I right, people? What's the deal with this last action?
I challenge PMR to watch this movie.
He's got to watch The Wrestler first, though.
And not enjoy it.
Oh, no. You had to add that part, Brian.
No, you got to listen to me. We live in a world where we just had 10 Fast and the Furious films. This movie from 1993 essentially is making fun of every one of the stupid Fast and the Furious tropes that we've had in the last 10 movies. There are so many classic scenes that they spoof in this. The whole premise of the film is the kid loves action movies, and Jack Slater is a character that Arnold Schwarzenegger plays in the movies, and so he's going to go see Jack Slater 4, and he gets a magic ticket and gets pulled into the movie, right? And so there's lots of inside jokes about Schwarzenegger. they go into a Blockbuster so he can prove to him that they're in a movie. And when he shows him the T2 poster, it's Sylvester Stallone starred in it, not Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's some really funny stuff in this movie. I watched it with the twins, my 12-year-olds, and they were literally rolling. It is very good. I'm skipping good. It's very good and very topical. Considering if you watch it through the lens that we watched all of these Fast and the Furious films, and then watch this, you will enjoy this movie. There are so many. There's one scene where they pull this straight. It predates Fast and the Furious by 10 years, but there's a scene where he's jumps a ramp because he's being chased. He jumps a ramp and is able to scotch off of a Coca-Cola truck and then land all four wheels on the ground and keep driving. And the guy he's chasing him you see in the background. They don't even address it. You see in the background. The guy behind him hits the ramp and shoots about 40 feet in the air and hits the ground and explodes. So the whole lot, just the same thing as like Vin Diesel falling on John Cena falling on Vin Diesel's hood and being saved from falling off a speeding truck. It is. There's one part where a guy gets knocked off and he busts through the windshield of a ice cream truck, and the ice cream truck just explodes. It is very, very good. If you want to watch something like even if paying half attention to it, if you want to watch a good film, this movie is great because it. And the thing is, people didn't get it because it was the way it was promoted, right? The Last Action Hero. They didn't get it, and I don't think the advertisements were trying to tee it up like, well, this is Terminator 2. It was right after Terminator 2. No, it's a spoof. It's an action comedy. It's very, very good.
And where did you watch this at? Did it on streaming service or?
It was on a streaming service. Oh, was it on? Oh crap! I think it was on Max, but maybe not.
Okay, so somewhere where Podman Ron could experience it.
Yes.
I was gonna say I have about 5 streaming services.
All right. Well, have you ever seen it, Podman Ron? Or do you remember it?
Not very well, I don't believe.
Alex?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
Alex, Last Action Hero?
I'm going to pass.
Oh, okay. So, but you've never seen it?
No.
Okay. Well, I do. I will agree with Brian. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I do agree with Brian that it is. I mean, it's just making fun of action movies in general and everything. So kind of a little bit of comedic spin for Schwarzenegger there. But Brian, what else can you do to convince these guys to watch it?
I don't know. Like I'm telling you need to watch it. DMR. You need to sit down and watch it and just go into it completely open-minded and just take it for what it is. Pay attention to lots of stuff happening in the background. Like it is a very good film and very topical. A lot of reviewers said this too when I was like researching and stuff. Like, man, it's so good. They were like, yeah, it holds up really well. Like, it's a completely underappreciated film. So,
all right, well, I'll put it on the background on something and see if I like it.
Give it a solid, give it a solid 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, let it sink in.
But once you get to that point, you've got the vibe of the movie, and you'll and the whole thing will be a pleasant experience.
It'll make you fall in love with the genre all over again, hopefully.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. All right. Well, I will. I'll agree with Brian. This was a good movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but I will trust that it has held up well. I do remember Tom Noon playing the hatchet killer guy. I always liked him and everything. But
yeah. I think the one that that got the kids. Well, the part where Art Carney's in the movie too, and there's the reason why Jack Slater's going after these is because they killed his favorite second cousin, and it's played by Art Carney. But like when they kill Art Carney,
if that's not a draw for you,
yeah. When he goes, he's only in there as a cameo. When he goes and they've beaten up his Art Carney, his second favorite cousin, like beating him to a pulp, and he's like tied to a chair, and Jack Slater walks in and like Art Carney tells him something and dies, and he's got like these cards pinned to his chest, and he picks the cards up and he looks at them and it says 5, and he flips it. And the next card says 4,
right?
And he flips it. And the next one says 3, and he flips it. And it says 2, and then he goes, "Run! It's a bomb!" So it's not a timer. They gave him cards that counted down from 5 to 1. And when he flipped the last card, the bomb blew up.
Oh my god!
It's good stuff. I think you'll enjoy it.
Good stick. It's very good. So.
All right. Any other retro reviews? Anybody else? I don't think I have anything.
No.
I was going to mention this, Brad, because we talked about it last week briefly. I kind of said that you could kind of take Untouchables and Tombstone, right? Tombstone, and kind of put them in the sort of faux history,
fictional history,
like a fictional trilogy. And I was like, and you said what was the third movie? Yeah. And I thought about this before, and it stumped me. The third movie is The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
That's pretty good. That's a good thought. Yeah.
Right. So the Tombstone, Untouchables, and The Patriot.
I like that. That's good. You need to package that up and sell DVDs. The fictional historic trilogy.
Yep. The Patriot, the guy that's Patriot, like they've said that he's an amalgam of several characters from like Swamp Fox, like Francis Marion. He's based on Francis Marion. He's based on somebody else. He's based on this other guy. So he's just an amalgam of different people. But yeah. So Tombstone, The Untouchables, and The Patriot.
That's a good triple feature right there.
Triple feature right there.
Speaking of which, I do want to get to Superman and Lois, but Podman Ron, did you? I think Alex, did either one of you ever watch America the motion picture?
No,
still didn't watch that. Okay, all right. Well, that's fair enough. You've been busy. Podman Ron's been busy. He ain't got no time for these TV shows.
He got no time for that. All that
movies.
Crap.
Yeah, he's catching up on Bosch and everything.
Catching up on
movies. And watching movies he's seen multiple times in the background.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, at least he's looking at something. What you looking at? Brian, again, I'm going to hold my Ted Lasso and bring Schmigadoon for after the end of the season. But something that you are not holding on to, which is, I think, maybe close to the end of the season, Superman and Lois. You've either got a renewed love for this show or maybe the love never died.
It's a renewed love. So I watched the first 3 episodes, maybe 4. And then it went on hiatus. It went on like a lengthy hiatus, like a 6 or 8 week hiatus. And so it just kind of like backlogged on me. And so the boys and I were sitting there and said, well, let's looking for something to watch. I was like, well, let's get caught up on Superman and Lois. And the first 4 episodes were really heavily about them reintegrating back in Smallville. And there were a lot about the kids, about Jonathan and Jordan. And like the teenage stuff, and it was a little too Dawson's Creek for me in the first 4 episodes. And episode 5, they completely changed up the focus of the show. The kids are there; they get a good amount of screen time, but the Superman story and the Lois story really picks up with them. And then Morgan Edge is in Smallville doing something and you don't know what he's doing. But in the first episode of the series, we saw there was a guy in an armored suit and the AI calls him, Mr. Luthor, right? And that was a swerve. That was a complete swerve. And when you realize what the swerve was, I was like, holy shit, that's really cool. There's a lot of this that they pulled from like Reign of the Supermen and post Death of Superman stories, right?
But because Still is in it and other folks?
Yeah. So the big revelation is that wasn't Luthor, it was John Henry Irons. And the reason the suit's calling him Luthor is because he stole one of Luthor's power suits and never reprogrammed the AI. So he's like, I don't care who it thinks I am, just that it works. And so you realize in the 5th episode that it's John Henry Irons, and he's from another Earth, and he's coming to kill Superman because on his Earth, he's married to Lois Lane. Wow. Superman turns bad and kills everybody, including Lois Lane.
Wow.
And so he's come to our Earth to prevent Superman from turning bad and to get revenge for him murdering his wife. So John Henry Irons is the big bad. Then once that storyline kind of dies down, you find out all the stuff about Morgan Edge, which it was really.
I hadn't saw it all yet.
Yeah, the Morgan Edge stuff was really, really steeped in that. Dan Jurgens Superman stories. It deals with some of the Phantom Zone stuff. It deals with they kind of name check the Eradicator. There's even there's a guy in the town that's it's the guy that married Lana, and to an extent he's kind of Kenny Braverman conduit from the late 2000s or the mid 2000s Superman Dan Jurgens stuff. So it's been very, very good. Honestly, and Alex, I want you to chime in, but I feel like it's easily the best CW DC series we've had
ever.
They don't get into the goofy shit that the Arrowverse does. Diggle finally shows up to let you know, hey, this still is in the Arrowverse. But if Diggle never showed up, this would have never had to have been Arrowverse. It would have never had to have been tied back to any of the other shows for any reason whatsoever.
Probably.
What Alex posted.
I said, and if Diggle never showed up, it would probably have been better off for it. Yeah, the show's really good. I wouldn't say it's the best. I'm not coming that as a fan of like all the CW shows now. They're all complete garbo. This is the only good one, and it's incredible. Like this story and everything it does, just its messages about family, about truth and justice and blah, 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 and all that. It's really, really good. But I'd say it's on par with the first season of The Flash, as those two definitely being the best CW shows by far. This show has a little bit of an easier route. It only has 15 episodes, so it can tell a much conciser story, and it's not dealing with a whole bundle of characters and all that, and it's not dealing with origins or anything of messy with that. But that's not to dismiss the show at all. This show's really, really good. It's some of the best superhero TV, I think, by far and above. I think it's maybe the best live action Superman outing we've had. I may go that far to say that. It's really good, and it's refreshing, and it's new, and it brings a new light to this character without being like a Man of Steel and dismissing, whether you like it or not, dismissing the core beliefs of said character. Yeah, it's really strong. Really good show. Yeah, couldn't recommend more.
Yeah, I watched the first episode, and that was it. But I would, I may watch it. I may give it a shot.
Yeah, I watched the first 4, maybe 5 episodes. Maybe it was, and they were solid. They were very strong and solid. I thought we covered this show
We did, but then it went on hiatus, and like I fell off, but it picks up in like episode 5 tremendously.
Yeah, I thought it started out the bad strong. It was a really good show.
That had a lot of harm, I think.
Yeah, and I think the kids were, I think his 2 kids on the show actually add so much to, it's just not another Superman tale. It really gets deeper into family life, and it tells a different story of just not Superman being married.
I think the thing I like best about it all is it feels like a comic book, because it is a serialized storytelling, but it's not Flash, where you're going to have the bad guy and it's going to take 21 episodes to resolve the situation. It's still serialized, but the first arc is really the whole thing with John Henry Irons and not realizing it's not Luthor and what his motivation is and all that kind of stuff. And then it settles down. Like that storyline kind of resolves itself. Then the Morgan Edge stuff picks up, where it had been kind of planted the whole time. The Morgan Edge, you don't know what he's doing, but until the John Henry Irons stuff ends, you don't really pick up the Morgan Edge plot line. And then John Henry Irons comes back, to help resolve the Morgan Edge stuff. It watches like a comic book. Like like the serialization of the story is very, very good. Stuff actually happens every episode. There's revelations in most, if not all, the episodes about and reveals. It's very, very good. It's very, very good.
All right, you talked me into it. I mean, I will try to commit myself to it. It's an hour show, though, right? Because that goes over my half-hour policy.
No. I think most episodes come in at like 42 minutes.
All right. I'll try to extend my policy of only watching 30-minute shows since this one's so special.
And you can stream all of them on the CW app.
All right. Download the CW app. Stream it.
Which is free.
All right. I love me free stuff. Podman Ron, are you looking at anything other than a clean floor?
Nope.
All right.
Just the sunshine and happiness right now. So.
Wow. Sunshine and happiness at 11 o'clock at night.
Happiness.
Are you on the other side of the world? Where?
I am.
Oh.
No, just
you were looking at
time to watch. Just haven't had time to really watch anything this week. So I'll catch up with some stuff next week.
All right, Alex.
I have some stuff in the pipeline.
All right. We and of course Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. Alex, we know you've been busy. Have you had time just to check out a book, a song, anything?
I am actually reading a book right now.
Ooh.
Funny you mentioned. I was watching an interview with Quentin Tarantino, and he was out promoting his not the novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which went back and did a whole novelization of, and he always talked about how he really wanted to get into novels after his film career. And I was like, you know what? I'll go pick it up. It was only like $7, $8. I was like, yeah, all right. And I'm about 100 or so pages in, and man, I didn't think Quentin Tarantino's style of kind of just, his mindless conversation that just is really character focused and really building out the minds and feelings of our characters would work in a book, because, that thing, you think that would drag the pacing down and be a slog. But the intricate details of how he words things and just the specificity he goes into that really layers in when our characters start making choices, why they're making those choices, is really, really good. And it translates fantastically into this novelization. And if you didn't like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when you saw it in the theaters, I really recommend you read this book. It's just fucking great. It's so good. I'm having a ball reading it, and hopefully it keeps that way. I'm only like a third of the way in, but I'm really loving it. I could not say nicer things. It's really good.
Very good. All right. Loving some Quentin Tarantino books there.
And I also watched The Social Network for like the 6th time. And if you haven't seen it, go watch Social Network.
I never saw it.
Speaking of books, Brad, this is a tidbit. The kids have been watching on Netflix Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous, which it follows the Jurassic World. You know, it's after the Indominus Rex gets loose. These kids get left on the island when they evacuate. And so apparently it's supposed to tie back into Dominion or whatever. You don't know what happened to them when the volcano went off, so I guess they're going to have to reconcile that. But the kids are kind of watching. It's one of those where I'm in the room, you know, when they're watching it. But there was something really cool on the season 3 now. And speaking of a book, there's a part where they're talking about. I think they're supposed to be going to like John Hammond's office or something. There's some MacGuffin they need to get out of John Hammond's office. And she goes, one of the kids goes, the guy that got eaten? And they're like, what are you talking about? And she goes, yeah. He broke his ankle and got eaten by a bunch of compies. And they're like, what? That never happened. Where'd you hear that? And she goes, I guess I read it somewhere. Which I enjoyed the hell out of that comment. I thought because that's the way he dies in the books.
Okay.
In Jurassic Park, the original book, John Hammond, at the end of the movie, when everybody else is safe, he's walking and he stumbles, breaks his ankle, rolls down a hill, and that's how the book ends, is he's eaten alive by compies. And so the fact that you've got a Y7 TV show, right, that references the Michael Crichton book from 1989 and actually talks about the real way John Hammond died. It was a pretty great, like, a nod, or not even nod, like a pretty great Easter egg.
Little Easter egg. Nice.
Yeah. She's like, he broke his ankle and got eaten by compies. And I was like, where did you hear that? Oh, I guess I read it somewhere. I was like,
so is this show a cartoon?
It's a cartoon, yeah. It's a cartoon on Netflix, but they reference the way. And Alex, have you read Jurassic Park the book?
I haven't read the book yet. No.
You should probably read it because it is vastly different. I mean, the plot beats are a lot the same, but the story is vastly different from the movie. And what's interesting is, from like a Hollywood perspective, you realize how much Spielberg changed the story to kind of hit traditional movie tropes, but really kind of abandon the source material. For one thing, the lawyer in the book is the hero. It's not Alan Grant. It's not Ian Malcolm. The lawyer who got eaten on the toilet is the hero from like the whole first book. But he's a lawyer, so the joke is he's a shyster. Let's kill him in a humiliating way. But yeah, you should read Jurassic Park. It's a very good book. And very different than the film.
When's the next movie?
It's next year, I believe, 2022.
Okay.
Dinosaurs are going to have fur.
So.
Feathers, you mean? Furs, feathers?
Feathers.
Whatever.
Brad, did you say you'd never watched Social Network?
No, I have not.
What?
It didn't really hold any interest for me.
You should watch it. It'll hold some interest.
All right. Well, it's David Fincher.
Yeah, the score is beautiful. I listen to the score every time.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Adaptation?
No, but I'll make a deal. I'll watch Adaptation if you watch The Social Network.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll look for it.
After you watch The Wrestler.
After you watch The Wrestler. I mean, we're piling up here, boys.
I got 2 movies.
All right.
I got 2 movies to watch.
All right.
So much movie.
And again, let's not forget the Suicide Squad that we can watch on HBO Max here in a few days and see if Brian's completely crazy and crazy in love with James Gunn or not.
I guess so.
All right. Well,
it's wonderful. It's a great film.
All right. Well, we will look forward to seeing because I think, Alex, you were not looking forward to it, thinking that if the trailer's all it's showing is kind of dick and fart jokes, you're not sure if you're going to sign up for it. But we'll see if that. All right. Well, I guess we will find out. But until next time,
save it for the podcast.